been completely ignoring everything that's been happening here so far. So I think that's his process, is because he's like this troubled genius that can't do his best without playing backgammon for half an hour before his set.
But you still haven't cleared up the mystery of where you're from.
Oh, we're gonna get back to it. We still have like two more comedians. We're gonna play that guessing game with you later. For now, I'm gonna bring out the huge Polish guy that was behind you. His name is either Jedrek or Jedrek, or I don't fucking know. It's like something Edrek. Please welcome the Edrek guy!
My name's Jendrek.
Jedrek?
Jendrek.
Jendrek.
Yeah. So say it together. Jendrek.
Jendrek.
All right. So we got 9 people here, and one of you has a job.
Me too.
Oh, okay. So 2 of you have jobs. That is the Berlin ratio. That is the Berlin ratio right there. 9 people. 2 people have jobs supporting the rest of you. Oh, except for the international students. You're all being supported by, obviously, your parents' ill-gotten gains. Look at the diversity in this room. We have every color of white. So nice. I feel a little old here because I'm probably your parents' age.
No.
Being in my mid-40s.
No.
No. Mommy and daddy fucked later in life. All right, that's fine. I have a daughter who's 7 years old. She could be my granddaughter, which is really fucked up. But not as fucked up as the fact that I have a 25-year-old sister. Right? It's just because my dad got his fucking on later, too. I'm old enough that my mom's dead and nobody's surprised by it. Alright, we're not gonna do the dark comedy today. Alright, what?
Please do.
You want dark comedy?
Yes.
Alright. So, a little bit about me. I'm Polish. We moved here about 2 years ago. Anybody here been to Poland?
Yes.
Yeah? And I see you're not there now. That's how great a country it is. We didn't so much move to Germany as we escaped. See, I was born in the communist times where getting into Germany was a whole ordeal. And because I feel like right now, as immigrants, we're like really huge wusses, right? Because you talk to grandparents, and in your case, it's great-grandparents, because you guys are like 17 or whatever. And they all have these amazing immigration stories that are like, we got on a boat, we had 37 pfennigs in our pocket. We crossed the ocean and started a life in New York. And my immigration story is like, well, we got in the car. And then it turned out we had so much shit that my daughter and my wife had to take the train. Yeah, and I stopped at McDonald's on the way. Do you know how much McDonald's costs these days? It was surprisingly expensive. That's my immigration story, right? My daughter is 7 years old. She's going to school. Her friends are like Syrian refugees, Ukrainian refugees. Her friend. She has a friend from a Croatian family, and she's like, oh, they fled the country during the war. And so like, how did you guys get to Germany? And she's like, well, the 11:13 train out of Warsaw Central Station, and then the S-Bahn to our flat. Yeah, it's I really like living in Germany. I'm gonna share a tip with you guys how to get the most out of your German experience. No German. Absolutely not a fucking word of German. I refuse to learn the language, and I'm so much happier for it. I walk through the city without a thought in my head, hard currency in my pocket. It's like an American tourist, right? I'm just living my best life. I'm crossing the street at red lights. There's people waving at me. I'm waving back. We're keeping the vibes good, right? I get little notes from my neighbors on the door. I'm sure they're lovely. I don't know what they say. They must be nice, right? I'm at Aldi, the guy behind me like, and I'm like, oh, you know my mom? Oh my God, what a small world. What a small world. I love it. I love it. And even Germans are even cool about their past. That's so nice. Like, because I'm the third person in my family to live and work in Germany, but still the first one to get paid for it, right? And that's great because I told Germans that joke and they laugh and they're like, yeah, we're sorry. You know, they laugh, but not too loud. They laugh like, oh, we need to respect him trying to be funny. But we can't enjoy it too much because we're sorry. And I get that. I get the nuance. It's lovely. You don't get that with other countries. Other countries can't deal with their past, right? Like America, I spent a couple years in America. You can tell because I'm fat, right? So America can't deal with its past because you tell Americans like, listen, you guys kind of racist, kind of fucked up what you were doing, you know, with the natives and you know, and the black folks, and they're like, no, that was a part of our heritage. It's a part of our heritage. It's in the past. It's gone now, and it really wasn't that big a deal. I mean, basically, look. Would you rather live in America or in Africa? I feel like we were doing the black folks a favor. Like, all right, and like, and look at this lovely plantation. Look at this lovely plantation. It's still around. We keep it as a monument. I'm like, this is a monument where you can still get married. And now Europe's not perfect with the racism, right? But nobody's getting married to Auschwitz. They won't let you. I've asked. And they were like, no. I'm like, listen, we're going to get our wedding bands made from the gold teeth of someone who spent the war in a concentration camp. And still they were like, get the fuck out of here, you go. No way. It's actually true. Like my wife's grandfather spent the war in a concentration camp. He had some gold teeth made because he was also a player, and that is what you did in the 50s to get laid. While your wife was at home with my wife's mom. Yeah, so we melted down his gold teeth, got some rings made. Awesome. Anyway. You're not going to the site of the Nuremberg trials and like, oh, this is a perfect venue for a prom. You're not going to Treblinka and having a gender reveal party, right? You put the balloon up in there, pop it. Is it gonna be pink? Is it gonna be blue? It's ash. And the card says the child is going to have horrible parents. See, I can tell jokes like that in Germany because I'm Polish. It's the only time in history that being Polish has been an advantage to anybody, as we are Western Europe's Mexicans with much worse food. And before you say no, it's not like that. When's the last time you got a pierogi? Exactly. When's the last time you got tacos? Yeah. When's the last time you got a kebab? Anybody?
Recently.
Yeah. When you live in Berlin, you realize that you have various levels of kebab joints. You have like the kebab joints that you publicly admit to going to, and it's always like Mustafa's, Rayum, you know, all the like big name joints. And then you go down, and it's like the kebab joint you actually go to when you're sober, which is like local, not too expensive, decent. And there's the last kebab joint. It's where you go when you're fucked up, and you're like, if I don't eat something, I'm gonna have the worst hangover. And it's like 4 a.m. You walk in, and they're like, say nothing, Habibi. I love it. Actually, there's no kebab joints in the part of Berlin where I live. It's too wide. We have a Späti. It closes at 8. If you're drunk and coming home late, which means 9 o'clock, you can get a Wurst. Not currywurst, because that's ethnic food and we don't do that there. It's called the Bavarian Quarter because I feel it's the only part of Berlin where Bavarians come and go like, oh yeah, das ist nice. Yeah. Das ist Deutschland. I'm actually learning a little German, all out of context, because, you know, all Polish kids know a couple of German words, you know, like the ja, nein, you know, schnell, halt, Arbeit macht frei. But I also learned a new word, Entschuldigung. I don't know if you know that. Get out of the way, fatty. I'm actually learning German because my daughter's going to. My daughter's in school and she's learning German, along with, for some reason, 37 other languages. Every fucking classroom in Berlin is like a mini United Nations. There's like 20 kids. They come from 17 countries. They speak 32 languages. There's like translators around, you know, sitting up there on the stairs. You come in, you get a little, you know, little kid comes up to you. They're like, ha, and starts speaking Finnish. You know? I mean, German is a trip for me because when you speak English and Polish, it's like you're like 80% of the way there, but you never know which way. Like this little kid came up to me one day when my daughter was still going to preschool, and he looks up at me and goes, "Du bist a dick," and I was like, "How did you know?" But it turns out that just means you're very fat, which I feel is a little too obvious. So I was like, no, that joke's shit, kid. You'll never make it in the Berlin stand-up scene. But he's 5. I think he's gonna get there someday. No, I need to learn. I actually need to learn like German because my daughter's learning German, and she's already calling her mama Mutti, which I feel is extremely adorable, right? Because my kid's like really cute. She's perfect for Germany because, you know, she's cute, she's smart, she's blonde, she's white, she's hitting all the check boxes. And she calls her mama Mutti, which is absolutely adorable. And she's starting to call me Fatty. And I'm like, that's not close to Fatty. And I was like, did you call me Fatty the other day? And she's like, no, Papa. I called you Vati. That means like Vata. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, yeah, fatty. That's what it means. Anyway, I gotta go put her to sleep, so that's my time. Thank you.
That was Jędrek from Poland. That
Kendrick is yes.
Jędrek Lamar.
It's
Yes,
like
I'm gonna remember
Jędrek
that. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have an N in there, but it might be the corn. I don't know.